Okay, you ready for the test run?
Oh, this really makes me happy when I can come out here at the end of a day. Actually, this is tomorrow's video, but I wanted to bring everything in. I thought I'd show this. Boy, Luciano, you're going to be one happy puppy, baby. I think from this picture you can see the difference color in this yellow and the yellow from the RD. Everything has dried up amazing. Just amazing out here. And I'm not sure you can see the wheel. This has been drying. We airbrushed the wheel. That was all on the previous video. Wow, what a day. I got so excited. We had a little family party tonight. Before I go to sleep, I wanted to see everything and I wanted to bring it all into the cellar. Oh man, that is looking good. This it's all on the video before this. This was quite a day. So it is a little bit different than the normal videos I try to shoot every day in a shop. But the point I wanted to make is I always let the paint dry out in the garage until dark. I bring it in. So it's been out there 6-7 hours, who knows, 8 hours. Doesn't matter. It's pretty much outgassed and it doesn't have any disgusting smell anymore. And this, if I could only tell you, this was an experiment. One of the ones that I will never forget. This really worked out great. If you saw this in real life, now this particular paint does not dry shiny, but what's going to happen now is it's going to have such a nice, it's an underlayment for the clear that's going to go on there. That's going to be absolutely spectacular. I don't even have to do it to know. But the next step on this is I'm going to let it dry under a heating vent for a couple of days, then lay out the yellow stripe, airbrush that on. But it's really, that really did come out nice. Now there's another thing, and this is a tip worth its weight in gold. Anytime you have parts where the tape has gotten cold, the two things you never want to do. You never want to pull off the tape while it's cold. It gets twice as sticky, prone to pull up the paint, and you will probably not get a nice edge. So what I do is I let this sit here overnight under a heating vent. What that is going to do is bring it up to ambient temperature, probably 65, 70. Then every time I remove any of this, I'll have it much warmer with a hairdryer. But that is such a good tip. That can really, really save your bacon. And the reason I know that is many times I'd bring the thing in out of the garage and I'd say, oh, let me just see. Oh, I'd be so excited. I wanted to see what, and I look and pulled up paint. That tape, and I touched the tape with my finger, it gets so sticky it'd pull your skin off. So this will sit, and this is the information I wanted to pass on. This is going to sit overnight. It's going to warm up to ambient temperature. I'll put the wheel up on the table with the other Yamaha parts because we're basically going to have Miles here tomorrow, the whole day. It's a day off of school tomorrow. Anyway, that ended my night tonight. I just couldn't be happier. And I hope you've watched that video and picked up some tips you can use. And this one too. So I wanted to pass on some information. This is really good quality information. We bought this a year or two ago, and it's a booster battery, of course. And I write on it the last time it's been charged. But today, in the middle of the day, our neighbors across the street had their car die. And I went over with, of course, with the other part of the booster here. I'm going to show this. Went over there, bingo, starts the car right up. It's amazing until you see this in action, how good it works. So then I came by and I said, well, let's see if it's dead. Well, it's not dead. Wow, so I thought maybe the directions say you can start 20 cars. Well, I don't believe anything. It worked so good today, and it was cold today. So now the other thing is, I wanted to show, this is the thing, it took me a year to get this exactly the way I want it. My thing with the thing for siphoning gas, fixing tires, extra battery, a map so when I go up to the Sheboyganville and I get lost, and a little flat tire repairing kit, and a radar detector. It all fits in the box. It snaps on with magnets onto each and every bike that I own, so I never have to make two of them or buy 2 screamers or whatever. But this is the thing that's worth its weight in gold right there. And that is a really good tip. So what I'm going to do tonight, hug and kiss everything goodnight. I'm soaring like an eagle because of the way that wheel came out. That is going to complement the rest of the FZR restoration. And I'm so glad right now I didn't do it gold, because when I did the original concept sketches, I was thinking, sure, they're going to be gold. But you know what? And Karen brought it to my attention, along with other people, that black is the way to go. The gold against the yellow would not have been a real good standout. And I think the black will be. So I'm going to bed tonight. We'll pick this up tomorrow. So I'm coming down to shop this morning, and it's super early. I got a lot to do today. And I've got my grandson here for the whole day to help me. So probably the labor involved today will be almost nothing. Or 4 times as much. We never really know. Anyway, I wanted to, this is what I always do first thing in the morning. Here's the heating vent. Of course, the heat is on. I'm looking at the wheel, and I'm seeing nothing I don't like. And the airbrush, really, after this is dry today, this is about as nice or as flat. I say, it's hard to define this, but the paint has really laid down, and the airbrush really puts on a thin, like a saran wrap coating of paint. So it's really, really nice. Now this, and that again is the first time I've ever done that. So for me, that's going to be kind of a new thing to see how that plays out. I also heard from Glenn. He was bitching about my gas cap didn't match. He graciously got a black one for me. And so obviously we'll have to make him some soup or something. Or something. We don't know what. Or paint his car when he's not looking. I'm not sure. But anyway, I thought this was so significant. This is something that I am going to try to move this football forward a little bit. Now, when I used to paint model planes, we used an airbrush a lot of times, and a lot of the people painted the whole plane with an airbrush. If I remember right, Stan Powell used to paint the whole plane with an airbrush. But some of the top finishers of the event. But anyway, beside the point now, I think, and I really stumble upon these things every once in a while, and that's why, this is why when I stumble upon something, if we didn't have YouTube, how the hell would you share that? What are you going to do, make phone calls? YouTube is so nice. And I want to thank, by the way, maybe I'm guilty of not doing this often enough. I want to thank the other people that have sent nice notes and nice comments on the video. I'm glad you enjoyed them. And I'm glad we haven't gotten to the level where we have people putting commercials on our videos and stuff. We're not looking to do that. But I appreciate all the information. And to do this, and to actually to see this when it was way down in the gutter and cracked and broken, and oh my God, now I just noticed something very funny. There it is, hiding behind the fairing there. Holy mackerel. But anyway, I always look for little funny, little things like that make me crazy. How could you ever figure that out? Anyway, what I have to do today, I have to get my grandson, and we've got a million other things to do here. The honey-do list is growing by the minute with Karen. She's got things she's doing, but I don't want to demask this. It's sitting under the heating vent now for about 8 hours, 10 hours. Just let it, the whole parts can come up to ambient temperature. I'll do that when I get time later. And again, thank you to everybody that makes nice comments on the video. I hope the information I put out there serves us all well. You want to watch
Ninjago?
windy videos?
Ninjago!
How about windy videos?
Ninjago!
We could watch windy videos.
Ninjago!
How about windy videos?
Ninjago!
I vote for windy videos.
Ninjago!
Am I going to win this? How about windy videos?
Ninjago! 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 Ninjago!
So what I want to do now, and it's pretty obvious, the paint looks okay. I checked for anything we need to undo, because if I had to put more yellow on this, I'd want to do it right now. The parts are warmed up. They've been at ambient temperature all afternoon, and that's important. I never want to take any tape off while it's ice cold. It's always a good idea to warm it up. And we have a blue stripe on here still, so wanted to see what this is going to look like. Send a couple of pictures to Luciano. I'm not sure when he's going to stop by, but he does have a visit scheduled. He's got a gas cap he wants me to paint. Match the job. Now see, I think it's important in this case, because it's all personal opinion, having these stripes on here. It took us very little extra time to make this. Luciano's original thing is, just paint it yellow. Well, we'd never take the easy way out of anything. What fun would that be? So there you are. Now it's ready. We could actually put some clear on it if we had a paintable day. Guess what? We don't. But it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we will get to paint it. If not, the day after. But getting that tape warmed up before you pull it off, and we got really crisp, nice edges there. Now this one looks like it's got a little overspray, so it's no big deal, of course. We will take care of that. But what we'll do, the next step of this is we'd like to get it ready for the day that we can shoot the clear. Once all the tape is off. And I think this is going to be just fine. I really like the look with the stripe. It kind of matches. We got a little bit of overspray here. It's nothing big. No big deal. We'll probably be able to take it off. Sometimes you can take it off with, may as well show it. There's a little bit where it bled under the tape. Sometimes you can just take it off. It came right off. With a paper towel. No chemicals. I don't want to put anything on there like compound. And you definitely don't want to sand it. So in this case, the paper towel took it off. There's a little bit down here even. A paper towel is just rough enough to take it off. So there we have. We just got to do the tank now and we'll be in good shape. I was hoping this would not come off at the same time. I wanted to take off each piece individually, but doesn't really matter. The whole key here is not to just rip it off like a bandage, number one. And these little stripes, see what I wanted to do. I guess it's not really that important. I'm just being too fussy for my own good. I wanted to rip these up one by one. As our ladders appear out of nowhere. Now the sequence by which you backmask, let me just give you an example of something you would never want to do. You'd never want to paint the whole tank yellow first. First off, the yellow over prime, you'd need 75 coats before it's going to turn yellow. That's number one. Number two, by doing the little piece first, that much less backmasking. Otherwise, right now, what we'd have to do is backmask the whole tank and then paint the ladders. Well, it's just less work to do it this way. I wanted to show how these come right up, and they really do. Warming the tape, so important. That's one of those things worth watching a whole video just to see that little step. We had a great visit with Miles, but every day we have with him is great. The fact that he does not want to watch windy videos, I can't believe he wouldn't be entertained by such interesting information. Actually, he just got into this Ninjago thing, and I think I've seen every Ninjago episode on Netflix, but what can I say? That's what grandparenting is all about. Anyway, I wanted to get this, and it's going to be a little tricky doing that because we have this piece way up here. There we go. Woo! As the tape is cut. And a number 11 blade, I'm picking away very carefully here. I don't want to have anything here that's, as I pull this up, now you can start to see this whole thing. Oh, that's going to look nice. Now we still have to get, there's one more step on this. Because we did change this stripe, we actually changed it, made it different. Oh yeah, nice. Glad we did that. Sometimes you make a change like this, and when you're done, you say, I should have left it the other way. No, this was the right thing to do. And when I show this to Karen, I'm sure she'll agree. Oh, yes. Boy, that is... I think Luciano's going to be a happy Yamaha owner here. So, no, in the past, what would happen on tape edges like this, I would have my Harbor Freight credit card or even a regular card go back and forth at a 45-degree angle. Because we did this with an airbrush, the paint is so thin, and just like the wheel that we just did, I think just rubbing this with paper towels is all we're going to need. There's a couple little, there's always little touch-up spots I find in the little crevices and cracks. So what I'll do before I move on, I'll get the little touch-up black and white and a little fine paintbrush. We'll touch that up, and it's usually right in the corners as always. And then Luciano's going to, when he comes over, he's going to bring those emblems. We're going to try to see if we can get those emblems to lay straight and not go up on an angle that would make this look silly. Now, there's always a couple little spots that need to be touched up. In this case, they're very predictable. Right where the valley is, the crotch, the valley, whatever you want to call it. And I've got just enough paint in here. Well, let me do this one first. Now, a lot of times you really have to tape these off, but in this case, this will just go fine. Now, with that all touched up, I still have to do the black. There's always some little spot. What happens, it all gets buried in the clear anyway. Even though you see it now, when it's buried in clear, sanded, you won't even see it. That'll disappear. And in the case back here, the seat's probably going to cover that. I'm not sure. The stock seat probably would cover it, but his cafe seat, maybe it won't. Now, I'm sure Chuck will not mind me sharing this story. We restored an OSA for Chuck. A very labor-intensive thing that had a lot of effort went into that OSA restoration. And when he went to ride the bike the first or second time, it was leaking gas. And so here's what I'm saying would always be a good idea. Now, this is not a known quantity. See, Luciano has never ridden this bike. And the last Ducati he bought had a leaky gas tank. We fixed the gas tank. He repainted it. But what would have been a smart thing with this, if you buy a tank off eBay, fill it right to the top with gas. Put it out in your backyard. Put it in a turkey pan or something. Let it sit for a couple of days. If it doesn't leak, strip the paint and restore it. What happens if you if all the work now, if Luciano has not tested this, and maybe he has, I don't know. And now you put it on a bike and it leaks at a seam or somewhere, petcock leaks or whatever, basically you're screwed. So it's always good, leave the tank a couple of days. You're going to empty it out anyway. That's cheap insurance and a great tip if you're going to do your own restorations. So anyway, one side is done. I got to touch up the little black, pull the other side off, and boy, we're ready for clear. All we need is a sunny day. That's really good information about. A lot of times when you're doing your first or your second restoration, you think, oh, that could never happen to me. I bought this tank off eBay and it happens. It's a great tip again, one of the things worth watching a whole video for, you get a tank or you buy even a new tank, let it sit. In my case, when I put the FZR back together, I have always got the opinion that I would put a gallon of gas in and see if the petcock leaked, because there's going to be new O-rings in there. And I don't want to take a chance. O-rings are O-rings. And see, you buy an O-ring from Yamaha, and what happens is it might be 25 years old already. I don't want to take a chance. Gas is a funny thing. And the one thing I would never want to have happen on a bike, do a full restoration, come out in the morning and there's a gallon of gas under the motorcycle. So this side's all touched up, and we know Luciano, and I know several other people, including myself, that have had tank issues. And it is really a disappointing thing after you do all this work to have the tank not hold fuel. Now let's hope Luciano has done that already. I guess we'll find out one way or the other. Now another thing, I'm always paranoid when I'm working on a motorcycle that there's still some gas in the tank. I don't like to ever bring gas into my home, so my own paranoia, I know how quick a tank of gas can spill and get on things, and you can't imagine how scary it is once you see it starting to burn. And I have had my share of gas leaks, and it's not pretty. Anyway, just more good information, I hope. I hope it's information you can use, because a lot of people do not. I know Luciano saw a guy, I think it was one of his friends, I wasn't there. He had a TZ, I think it was Jim, I'm not sure. Had the TZ catch fire on a track day. That's really not funny at all. I'll have to ask Luciano about that story when I see him. But the best story of all is that it doesn't happen at all. Gasoline can ruin your whole day, that's for sure. There's a lot of things in life can ruin your whole day. I don't know why I'm laughing about it. Actually, when I was a kid, I had a neighbor's son that was playing with a lawnmower with a hot muffler, and he was putting gas in it, and somehow he burned his whole leg up really bad. Not funny. But anytime I see the ladders for the first time, it's always enjoyable to me. I always do enjoy seeing them just appear like magic. And you never want to pull that tape up when it's cold. Oh, yeah. Now, so far we're very lucky. In this case, we're more than lucky, because this is a job that there's alligators underneath this job. I mean, this is like building the trade towers on a sandbox. That Rust-Oleum is not what I would want it to be for a foundation, but it seems like we've beaten the system. Because the clear, I've never seen the clear hurt or go into alligator mode, not yet anyway, so let's see. We got a few, same exact thing in the crotch, we got a little touch up to do, and this will be ready for the clear. Wow, what a great thing this is. But again, I'm waiting for a really nice day like the day we had to paint this. I'm not going to try to push it on one of these snowy, rainy days or whatever. If you have, and these will bury in one coat of clear. But if you have thick paint lines, the credit card can take the edge off. But I think right now for these, the towel is just going to be fine. And as I look at it, wow. Luciano, I think you're going to be a happy boy. Now another little thing. I know this is pretty simple to understand. These little brushes, they look cheap. These are about a $5 brush at Pearl Art Supply. And these are what happens because Karen takes art lessons. I always get her old brushes, but if you use the brush that you buy at the dollar store, probably not going to be a good job. So it's worth, you're going to do this kind of work, it's worth, to me, it's worth investing, because the result is going to be a lot better. And what I've tried to do in the past is take those dollar store brushes and trim them and make them skinny. Never works as good as just getting a skinny brush. And it's one of those things, you have a brush like this, it's going to last you the rest of your life. Another trick that's worthwhile. See where we have the overspray down there? One of the things that can really help, if you mix the whole pint or quart of paint like you normally would do to spray it, always save like just a spoonful for doing touch-ups like this, because you'd always like to do these touch-ups with full strength paint. Now if you do get to the point that you've mixed all the paint and there's no full strength paint, this is one of the tricks you can use. I'm faking this just to show you. You can put some of the paint out in the cap of the can, let it sit for 10 minutes, go have a cup of coffee, and what that'll do, that'll just make the paint, as the thinner evaporates, make it thicker and thicker, bring it back to a lot more like what it would be, so that you can do touch-ups with it. You'd like to do touch-ups with full strength paint. Now unfortunately this didn't turn out to be a good day to shoot clear, or I could have put the clear right on this, but we're not going to compromise it, believe me, after all this work. Now I got one little special thing I wanted to do at the end of this video. It's been a long time since we got the A-team back together, and some of us have moved on and moved to Georgia, and some of us have gone to having a little bit different lifestyles, different motorcycles. But we had some great memories in the A-team over the years, and it goes back probably 5, 6, 7 years. And I wanted to, at the end of this video, put a few minutes of something I think is a lot of fun for the guys that are still around to watch. And these things, they happened years ago, but they're still a lot of fun to watch. And they're all basically out on the, coming up on 1,400 videos. Not coming up, I think we already got 1,400. Anyway, not to make a, to beat a dead FZR here or anything, but that came out pretty nice. Luciano, I know you're going to be happy. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out this A-team action, and thanks for watching.
Okay, you ready for the test run?
Okay, now that's the way it's supposed to sound. That's what I've been expecting. Was it no muffler? Okay.
You should take this stuff. Hey, Tim. This is for Tim. You know we should take this? I got to tell you what we're going to do with it next time we see you.
I think it's firing. I think it's firing on all 4 cylinders. Because that's what you needed.
It might even be that. It might even be hooked at 1, 2, 3, 4 correct now. But use a label maker. Don't.
Look at this, Wendy. Look at this.
This is Tim. Look at this.
This side is.
Oh!
This side. Look at. And it's like soaked.
That's like oh, Tim, I'm so impressed. It's good. Say hello to Tim.
Tim.
Hey, Tim. Hey.
Listen, your bike's no longer on the rack.
Let's all give Tim the big salute here.
Put him back in.
Oh, man.
Leave that alone. Keep those off.
It's like a wet diaper.
I was thinking of something else.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh. Leave that. Throw that away. Don't even let him have it. Throw this shit away.
No, those are meant to be used.
Bob, who's the master of disaster? Do we have the Chip Foose team here or what?
You know what that thing's called?
It's called something. I don't know.
Okay, guys, one by one, let's tell Bob, you've been overhauled.
We're not there yet. We will be there.
Woo!